Welcome ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr.J and this is the 17th episode of my series How to Complete Hollow Knight. Last time we completed the first two trials in the Colosseum of Fools, had another fight with Hermit and obtained the King's brand from the crumbling body of the Pale King's former incarnation. Today we'll be going to the deepest recesses of the sewers in order to fight an optional boss. Let's go back to the central shaft that connects Kingdom's Edge to the City of Tears. I have a very minor issue with the falling ash. This is supposed to be the moth shedding from the corpse of the ancient worm. It makes sense that the corpse still remains more or less intact since it's supported by the King's brand, and after we take it, the remains crumble. However, wouldn't that mean that the falling ash changes in some way? Either it should stop or increase in intensity. What do you guys think about it? Is it an oversight or am I missing something? Please share your thoughts in the comments. By climbing this wall we can reach the Wanderer's Journal. And here it is. Next we'll be going through the City of Tears. We'll be crossing the entire City of Tears and going back to the Royal Waterways. Just keep on the ground level and go all the way left to the exit to the Royal Waterways. You shouldn't really be wasting any time fighting the enemies here. I should really work on my OCD to kill everything before starting the speedruns. Okay, we're nearly at the Royal Waterways. We're going through Dung Defender's arena and all the way left to the Soul Bench in this area. Again, if possible, try to skip any enemies here, it's absolutely not worth it. To exit the optional area, we need to use the dive spell on the crumbling floor below the bench. This next part is quite annoying to navigate. Unlike the part of the Royal Waterways up above, which were cleaned by the constant rain, this place is chock full of junk. Following the junk will eventually lead us to the FLUKE's nest, or the junk pit. We will need to visit both of these places. Frankly, I find this place utterly disgusting. That's the intent, of course, but I think they've done a little bit too good of a job. This is actually not the way to the boss, but I got a little confused here. I decided to leave this footage here anyway, since we will have to visit this area later. The FLUKE Mungus are really annoying to deal with. They do 2 masks of damage and are very tanky and cannot be stopped once they start charging. Since we're here anyway, I just want to quickly show you guys where the entrance to God Home is. I highly recommend using the interactive Hollow Knight map, which I've linked in the description if you can't find your way in this area. There's also another exit from this room that will ultimately lead you near the nailsmith's hut through a series of shortcuts. There it is. It will be quite a while until we get to go to God Home, but just keep this location in mind. And here we have a shortcut back to the City of Tears. This shortcut is mostly useful in the endgame when you want to quickly access God Home. Okay, so now we're going to visit the FLUKE Hermit and then we are finally moving on to the next boss. If you talk to the FLUKE Hermit after equipping the FLUKE Nest charm, you will get some additional dialogue hinting at the future of the FLUKE tribe. Now let's leave the junk pit area and go back towards the FLUKE infested area of the Royal Waterways. This room is somewhat similar to the Garpid room in Deepnest in its layout. You have several levels of long corridors with a small gap in the ceiling or floor through which you have to go in order to proceed. Pretty much the only difference is that instead of Garpids you have FLUKE Mungus. Anyway, just continue going through the corridors aiming to the bottom right and you eventually leave the room. Like I said, it's a real pain to navigate the area. Anyway, there's a hidden corridor here that leads to FLUKE Marm. FLUKE Marm is incredibly easy. Its only attack is spawning FLUKE face. There's pretty much no way to die on this fight. Just keep on slashing it and control the number of FLUKE face and you're done. For our effort we will be rewarded with the Hallownest charm. What it does is it changes your spirit spell into a swarm of flukes. It does double the damage on paper, but it's also significantly harder to use. If you use the defender's crest as well, it will change the swarm to a single large fluke that upon contact explodes and leaves a lingering cloud that does continuous damage. After this we'll be going all the way back to the broken elevator shaft. First step is to get back to the bench in the Royal Waterways. Now we'll be going all the way to the right towards the Den Defender's arena. The path is pretty straightforward and you've already made the journey several times, so it shouldn't prove too difficult to find your way around. Now let's go all the way down and to the right and activate an essence tree. As you can see, this area is littered with spikes, which will make gathering the essence orbs somewhat of a pain. And there are quite a few of them from this tree. You absolutely can't skip gathering these essence orbs. You have more than enough in order to get all the rewards from the seer. All the orbs are out in the open. The only difficulty in collecting them is the platforming. Now speed up this section since it takes quite some time. Next we're heading towards the ancient basin, while not forgetting to pick up a wanderer's journal on the way. In order to get to the wanderer's journal, we need to drop down here and pogo jump to a ledge on the right. After that we pogo jump again in order to get back to the column on the left and then continue left until we reach the ancient basin exit. The exit is in the bottom left corner of this area. And here it is. Now let's go to the bench in this area. The path is very straightforward and there's barely any enemies on the way. Now that we are here, the next step requires a specific combination of charms. We need as much poo masks as possible in order to enter a certain area. Okay, so we need to equip the Fragile Heart, Journey's Blessing and Lifeblood Heart charms. This will give us a buffer of 1 mask in case we take damage while traveling to the door. Oh, and what I just did is called overcharming. It breaks the limit of charm notches, allowing to equip a charm we don't have enough notches for. We do take double damage this way though. We are ready now, so let's go to the Lifeblood's door. Again, note that what lies beyond the door are the failed vessels. What is the vessel meant for, we still don't fully understand. And that's why it's good to have that 1 mask buffer. Now we just wait here until the door activates. So after we go through the door, we need to collect a charm and an arcane egg, which is another vendor item. There is some platforming required to get them, but nothing too difficult. There's the arcane egg. And the Lifeblood core charm. It is the better version of the Lifeblood heart as it gives 4 masks and requires just 1 additional notch. Again, it's very dependent on your playstyle, but if you'll be relying on bonus masks, this is the charm to use. Next we'll be going all the way down to the bottom of the abyss and then left so we can upgrade our Howling Rage spell. Hey guys, after we've gained access to the abyss, it's time to collect our final movement ability. I call it a movement ability, but apart from the few places that you need it in order to access them, it's more of a combat ability. You'll see what I mean in the next episode. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please press the like button, and if you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you. This will really help me to provide better content for you guys. Hope to see you again next time, and until then, have a good one.